My name is Smith, and today we're looking at the new Millennium, and we are gonna be seeing some events happening, of course. The first one is gonna be Uzbekistan and its puppet state making a new alliance, and it's gonna be this yellow alliance. This is obviously anti CSTO, like anti CSTO, what do you call it? Anti CSTO expansion, and we also see Azerbaijan joining this alliance, and we then see that Armenia joins the CSTO, and we are gonna be now seeing that Armenia is gonna be invading Georgia, and this is obviously because they wanna get validation from Russia that they can beat uh another power, or like a regional power in the Abkhazia, I think, in the Caucasus. Yeah, not Abkhazia, Caucasus. We are gonna be seeing some small pushing. That's too similar. We are gonna be seeing some small pushing here, and wait. We are gonna be seeing some small pushing right here as they get into this small peninsula, or not peninsula, what do you call it? This small tail of Georgia, I guess. But we do see Georgia. They are gonna be invading into, or like going into Armenia here on the east, as they just are sneaking around the Turkish land, or like border. Obviously, Turkey is giving aid to Georgia because they are ops with Armenia, as we all know. We do see that Armenia, though, does push out these guys a little out, and we now see a new country joining the war, and it's gonna be Iran. But they're not gonna be on any side. They're not gonna be on Georgia's side, you know. They just want land from Armenia. And so we see that they start pushing here into Nagorno-Karabakh. And yeah, Armenia, they're pretty cooked. As we see that Georgia, no, as Georgia takes back all of this land right here, and they start pushing into Armenia, which is at this point like collapsing, and yeah, they eventually surrender. In this treaty, we actually don't see any land being exchanged, because they just put all of the power into kicking out Armenia out of the CSTO. Speaking of the CSTO, or like anti-CSTO, we see that Ukraine is gonna be joining Uzbekistan's, yeah, I guess, that they are gonna be joining Uzbekistan's alliance, and that's because they feel very, very threatened by by the CSTO, not by Uzbekistan. And speaking of that, we are gonna be seeing Georgia joining the alliance. So we have a pretty big alliance being made here, and in Central Asia and Ukraine and the what do you call it again? I don't know. We are now gonna go here to Syria, which is gonna be, well, collapsing, like just having a rebellion, and it's gonna be no, and it's gonna be mostly like uh you know the recently there was like a new government taking charge in Syria, and it's just this government. I forgot the name of it, so yeah, you're welcome. But I feel like they were like somewhere here and here. Yeah, I feel like, and we also see that. uh, Turkey joins the war because obviously, why wouldn't they? Because they obviously have some claims here on some Syrian lands, like they are uh over here. There's claims in this area right here. Like I feel all of this. We don't see Turkey like fighting with the rebellions or this, they just want their lands, you know. And we see that this rebellion is gonna be gaining some traction. Well, they're just gonna be winning many wars, as we see another pocket being here and here. Although we do see that Syria is gonna be uh, pushing out this rebellion a little, mostly focusing in on the north. But we do see again that this rebellion, they're gaining a lot of direction and a lot of support. So we see many troops being encircled here and killed, or like arrested, I guess. And we see that these two rebellions are gonna be uh connected, and we see that this area falls over, and we see the capitulation of the current Syrian government. These are the borders of the Treaty of Nicosia. As we see, Turkey gets a little bit of land right here. The new government is, like the rebellious government is here, and Syria is turned into a pretty much city-state of Damascus. Why is this on the map? I don't know. I'm gonna just change it real quick. We are now also gonna be seeing an interesting event happening, and that's gonna be the unification of Poland and Lithuania. Certainly cool, you know. It was like pretty hard to do it because one's in NATO, one isn't, and all that. But they have eventually like done all of it, and they are in NATO, you know. So pretty cool event happening. Going into the Balkans, we see another collapse of a nation. There are so many collapses in this episode. What? I don't know. And we obviously see Serbia and obviously small kiddo Montenegro joining this war. And we see quite a few rebellions actually. The first one is gonna be a pro-unification with Hungary Vojvodina. Vojvodina, like uh Vojvodina separatist movement, which looks something like this, and also Kosovo movement. Definitely not staged by Albania, 100%. Right? Albania would never do that, right? Yeah. We see that Serbia is gonna be actually winning this war. Well, on the start, obviously, as they're gonna be pushing quite a lot of forces from Hungary. Wait, what? I meant like Vojvodina, right? Yeah, definitely. Hungary doesn't have anything to do with this. Definitely. Well, they push out the forces from Belgrade, which is like right here. And meanwhile, as this is happening, obviously, Bulgaria thinks nobody will notice that they will invade a little bit of Macedonia. Yeah, definitely. No one, like, absolutely no one is gonna notice that you're invading Macedonia of Bulgaria. Definitely no one. And speaking about that, we see that Bulgaria's just invades Macedonia. Yeah. What did you expect? It's Bulgaria. Of course they are doing that, you know. And why this is happening? Why doesn't just like Greece change the world? Yes, I mean that would be really weird, right? Yeah, very weird. 100% weird, but they still do join, and they start invading. What? Never could have seen that coming. Never. And we also see them invading Albania. Oh, that's interesting. Definitely. Well, we meanwhile see that Serbia is gonna be invading here into Bosnia and Herzegovina. They are not on this side, on the side of Bulgaria. They're just like, like I'm gonna change the color. And we see that Bulgaria is gonna be invading into Bosnia and Herzegovina because they just want like land so that they can use to hopefully then like uh uh to then hopefully like what do you call it? Push out the Vojvodina and the Kosovo forces. And they obviously take out the Republika Srpska first because it's Republika Srpska of course they're joining Serbia. Like yeah, you get it. And but we see Bosnia is actually doing pretty good here on the Montenegro front. What the they are doing pretty good on the Montenegro front as they take the entire coast of Montenegro and they are also gonna be invading back into their oh, and they are also gonna be getting back their own land right here. What the hell? They're also gonna be getting their own land right here. What the hell? Yeah, right here. And we see that Albania is gonna be putting many forces out of Kosovo to push out the Greeks. And we see that they are gonna be pushing out the Greeks by quite a big margin, and they are actually gonna be now invading into Greece. And the NATO, like, they do fund Greece a little, but they initiated the war, so like no, they just can't like go into it and you know try to kill Albania. And they are gonna be also going into the partition of one of they don't wait like the rest of the Macedonian government is like probably just getting or like unionizing or like getting interfered into this like yeah I guess unionizing and we see and we see pro-Bolshevik, yeah, I guess pro-Bolshevik, uh, things happening here, and it's gonna be first here in the city of Niš. Niš isn't that like they are a big city, and they are quite communist in this timeline, you know, and we see a lot more pockets being like being made. For example, one here near Kosovo, and one here, big in Niche, and another one here in the Danube. This is like the complete collapse of like everything now in Serbia, as we see another communist party being initiated or like started here in this part of Vojvodina, but this is like the Serbian part, the Serbian majority part. We are gonna be seeing that the communists are gonna be are gonna be pushing in to Serbia quite a lot, as they're gonna be taking the entire city of Niš before they had like only a few streets, or not a few streets, but they had like one part of the city. And here we see finally that Greece mobilizes its name like army, and they are gonna be pushing now into Albania or Albanian occupied land, as they're gonna be also pushing here into North Macedonia. But the Albanians are again gonna be well, invading here, and this is like really weird. And we see that many of these countries make a peace treaty. We see this partition of North Macedonia and Bulgaria leaving the war. But the war between Albania and Greece is still going on. We are now going to be going here where we see that the communists are actually winning the war, or like the civil war, by a huge margin, as they are now marching towards Belgrade, which is like somewhere here, and they're just making a spearhead towards it, obviously making the Feast of Pies, and they are going to take over Belgrade. And this is very big, you know, and we see the ending of the war. As the Treaty of Chisinau stands, we see some exchanges happening. For example, Kosovo is now independent, Vojvodina is now Hungarian, and Bosnia, whatever just happened, you know. We are gonna be seeing first the war between uh between Serbia and Montenegro. It is well, Montenegro didn't want to join Serbia because they are now communist, as we know, as you know. Yeah, they just invade Kosovo, and in the PCT, guess what? They annex everything. Like, what do you think? Like, mate? And we are now gonna be seeing that here. What? No, no. And what are we gonna be seeing here is that this Albano Greek war is gonna go into a stalemate, and we are gonna be eventually seeing as the Treaty of Taranto is now signed, where Albania actually gains some land. And staying in the Balkans, or like kind of staying in the Balkans, we are gonna be seeing a new alliance being made. And it's gonna be the Nova Comuna alliance. And it's gonna be for communist countries, as the name suggests. The first two members are gonna be Cuba and Serbia, and eventually even Vietnam joins the Nova Comuna. Speaking of Vietnam, we are gonna be seeing the invasion or the second invasion of Vietnam onto Laos. Laos. What do you mean call Laos? 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 I personally think Laos. Although I did hear Laos, which is just wrong. Like, no, it is not Laos. And in the Peace Treaty, we see that, yeah, like, well, we see in the Peace Treaty that, like, everything is annexed. Everything. Like, what did you even expect? Laos to win? Laos to win? Pathetic. And we are now gonna be seeing another event taking place, and it's gonna be I don't know, and it's gonna be the Palestinian revolts. Obviously, Palestine once they just want their independence, so you know they just want it. I'm gonna make Palestine right quick. Obviously in the Gaza Strip and over here, like yeah, something like that. We are gonna be seeing that. Uh, we are gonna be seeing that Palestine is gonna be. No, we are gonna no. We're gonna be seeing that Palestine is gonna be going all the way here into the south as they take like there's pretty much nothing in the south if I remember correctly. Just like one port which connects onto the Red Sea, but obviously they can't even go there because these two exist very very Christian countries as we all know. And but we see that Israel, Israel, I don't know, are gonna be pushing here in the north, as they are gonna be almost taking out this pocket right here, and they're also gonna be going a little into the Gaza Strip. But we still do see that these Palestinian guys are gonna be now going here, and they take over the whatever the what? They're gonna be taking over the Gaza Strip back, and they're gonna be. Why can I not do that? What the? And they're gonna be linking up with the seal. Although they did, but like you know. And we see that this area is almost like it's normally encircled, if you know. And we eventually see that these sides both agree to sign a peace deal here in Beirut. As we see, Palestine, or like Israel, is now split into two, with Palestine in the south uh, and Israel in the north. And this is gonna be all. So I hope you like the episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Bye.